Okay, looking forward to the week, Monday Night Football. Being prime time, here at home, that's a big deal to play a night game at home. So, as a team and as an organization and as a fan base, I expect there will be a lot of juice from all of us. Looking forward to another division game, a home division game against a good football team. Obviously, coming off of a win, they're really good in all three phases. Very well coached, a very formidable defense, very stingy. 9 games in a row of 20 points or less. Very good in the secondary, good pressure package, very multiple on defense. Offensively, they're also very multiple, a bunch of different personnel packages. Obviously, high-level quarterback in Derek Carr, who we have a ton of respect for. Very accurate passer, very accomplished career, really a good athlete as well, can beat you with his feet or his arm. And then special teams, young, but Young's, kicker and punter, but very talented group. So it'll be a good challenge for us on Monday Night Football.
Frank, what happened with Brady? When did the injury occur? And then what's the plan to replace him?
The injury was later in the game. I'm not sure what play, but I think it was later in the game. To his credit, he finished with it. Obviously, you saw he's on IR. So, we're going to work a couple different combinations. We're going to have really 3 different players. We've talked a lot about it, obviously, in the last 48 hours. We'll have 3 different players work through there, and we'll make a decision by the end of Thursday.
To confirm, it's a bicep?
Yeah, it's a bicep. That's correct.
Who are those 3, Frank?
They are Cade Mays, Nash, and Justin McCray.
Frank, since we last spoke, what have you learned about the severity of Jaycee Horn's injury?
We're still kind of working through that. He's working through getting other opinions and just seeing the full extent of it. It is a serious hamstring injury that's going to, he's going to be out for a while, for an extended period of time, but I still don't have enough information to kind of give a definitive statement on exactly what's going to be the course of action with him. Hopefully we get that answer in the next day or 2.
Coach, playing on Monday night is always a special event. 2 parts. As a coach, what advice are you going to give to Bryce heading into the game and all the rookies? And as a player, what you recall from the '89 game-winning drive against the Rams?
Yeah, no, with Bryce, it's just going to be, every step for him is a new step in the NFL, but at the same time, he's played on a big stage his whole life. So, enjoy the moment. Monday, the biggest piece of advice you give to the rookies is that when you play on Monday night, it's a long wait until Monday night. So don't get too amped up too early. Just be patient, and because it's a long wait. And yeah, my first NFL start was on a Monday night. So still very good memories of Monday Night Football for me personally. So yeah, always enjoy Monday night. That's one of the reasons why.
Frank, is IR an option here for Jaycee, you think?
I think it's an option depending on what it comes out, but it's not a definite by any stretch.
Could it be surgery as well?
That is on the table.
How did that happen? Look, away from the play, as I recall, Frank.
Yeah, it's just one of those freak things. It's just one of those freak injuries, you just never know. You just never know. And he knew right away. Like I could tell as soon as I got out there, he felt it. He kind of felt it pop, and so he kind of knew right from the start it probably wasn't going to be good.
Coach, there's been a lot of attention to the field surfaces by the NFLPA since Aaron Rodgers' injury. Obviously, you guys have artificial turf. What is your stance on that, and what would you like to see done here?
Yeah, I am aware of the PA's, of the PA's statement. I certainly am aware of this situation, the discussion, it's an ongoing discussion. For me personally, I'd refer to the PA, to Bruce and to Lane. Honestly, my energy is focused on the Saints. I am aware of the issue and kind of and have some understanding of the questions that are being asked.
I know this is a next man up league, but to be dealing with injuries to integral parts of your team, like how do you manage that so early in the season?
Yeah, exactly as you said, just next man up, and not in a heartless way, and certainly have compassion on the players who go down. But every team, I mean, right, I mean, if we look around, every team is, or most teams are going through the same thing. So that's why we say, like, when we put together our practice, you go through cuts and you put together your practice squad, and, you know, you tell those guys, hey, it's really a 69-man roster, because everybody's probably going to play by the end of the year.
Frank, this team, for such a long stretch last season, had the same 5 starting offensive linemen. Now, obviously, you're immediately shuffling. Is there a way to speed up that cohesiveness that you can build as you're kind of shuffling pieces?
I don't think there's any way to speed it up, you know. But the good news is, like, Coach Campen has done such a good job of cross-training those guys, and you guys saw it in training camp. I mean, you were seeing so many different combinations, and I think it'll be as smooth of a transition as possible. But there is nothing like getting in there and doing it together, for sure.
Frank, you brought up the practice squad. Tariq Cohen's been through a lot. What did you see from him in this workout that made you guys kind of?
I was really excited to see him out there for the workout. He was, you know, of course, I remember, you know, when he was with the Bears, just watching him and just like, man, this guy is different. You know, not only physically is he different, but his quickness and as a runner. I coached, you know, Darren Sproles, so a very similar type player, and I felt like what that, you know, there's a little bit of that in him. So, and a dynamic returner as well. So he looked good out there. It's been a while, obviously a very bad injury. So to his credit, I felt a lot of good energy from him, like he's ready to play some football.
Was he brought back at all because you want to try to find ways to get more explosive plays out there, or just you're trying to give him a chance, or what?
Well, you know, we have history. We have a little, you know, Tabor has a little history with him. And, you know, the guy, we're always looking for guys who are good football players and who are our kind of guys. And he certainly fits in that mold and has a history of being an explosive playmaker for sure.
How quickly do you think he can be active? I think probably it's a few weeks of him, you know, getting back in football shape. And then he may or may not be active. I mean, you know, it just depends on how things are going. I mean, there's not a definite plan to bring him up. You know, it's just we're happy with the guys that we have, but we also like the fact that he's ready to play football and that he physically looks like he's back to his old explosive self. So I think we have a few weeks to kind of figure that out.
So Frank, at cornerback then, if Jaycee's obviously, it's like he's not playing this week, I mean, so does CJ start, and then who's the third, who's the nickel, how's that work?
Yeah, we'll work through that rotation this week. We're probably going to, you know, there's likely, you know, we'll be at 52 on the roster. There's likely we might add another corner to get to 53 to get the depth we need in there. But, you know, happy with CJ, happy, you know, with all of our, you know, with Troy, with Dante, you know, that whole contingent. Feel good about our guys.
Bryce, how much ability does he have to alter or change a play after it's been called?
A lot. You know, I mean, it's, you know, we try not, we don't have too many kills in at this point, but, you know, we have enough in, you know, to, you know, to give him some freedom. And then, you know, if he sees something, you know, how much of that did we do in week 1? A little bit. I think that'll be something, you know, he's very capable of doing it and just giving him the keys and saying, you know, go wherever you want to go. But experience tells you that's not always the best thing. You know, it's like when, you know, it's like when you're giving your keys to your son or daughter when they turn 16, you know, you can stay in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? So I'm sure he could go, he has the mentality he could drive across country, but we probably want to stay in our zip code right here for a little bit anyway.
Hey, we'll do a couple more.
Frank, what do you want to see? I mean, you've seen first game now out of him, full game out of him. What things do you want to see out of him to make the progression in week 2?
I mean, I really, you know, obviously we had a couple turnovers and we talked about there's multiple dynamics in that, so I don't put it all on, you know.
Yeah.
I thought he did a lot of good things, you know. I thought he threw the ball away well. You know, we have to obviously find a way to get a few more plays, you know, down, you know. I mean, we threw some down there, but we just didn't hit on any of them, and there were 1 or 2 other opportunities that just didn't, you know, for whatever reason we just didn't get to. But I thought he saw the field well. I thought he looked comfortable in the pocket. You know, all things for a guy in his first start in this league that he, you know, the way he responded to adversity, I just thought it was largely positive, you know. Bates is a great player. He made a couple good plays, and we weren't as detailed as we could have been on a couple things to maybe eliminate those things. So I'm encouraged. I'm, you know, obviously disappointed about the loss, but I'm encouraged about our team, and I'm encouraged about Bryce.
Frank, on the Burns deal, you had talked about having kind of understanding and seeing both sides of the deal. Is that sort of how you take the artificial turf argument also? Because you're a former player, you've got players talking about how it's dangerous, but also your owner installed the turf.
I do, no, that's fair. I do understand both sides, you know, and so, and I played for a long time, and we played on, you know, we played on turf. And in fact, well, you know, we played on the old thing. We practiced on a parking lot. So, you know, I don't know. I'm not an expert. You know, I'm just not an expert on that area. So that's why I really don't want to get into it. I'm very you know, I'm a coach, so, and I'm an ex-player, so I'm very sympathetic to what the players think and want. But I do know there's another side of it, and I don't pretend to know all the answers. And I'm really not trying to know all the answers on that one. You know what I mean? I think that'll work itself out amongst the people that make those decisions.
This is. Go ahead, Phil. Then we got to go.
The two interceptions, I know you said there's a lot of moving parts, but they looked very similar. And I'm curious, when you have a rookie quarterback and he throws two interceptions that are similar, is that easier to fix, or is it more alarming that he's making the same mistake twice?
No, it's easy to fix. And honestly, the two that were similar, it's, you know, Bates. It's Bates making a great play. He's, based on the coverage they're playing, he's supposed to be at a certain place, and he's breaking the rules, and he's somewhere where you're not expecting him to be. If you look at all 10 guys and say, where's the 11th guy supposed to be in this coverage? Oh, he's supposed to be right back there. Well, where is he? Oh, no, he wasn't there. You know, they gave him the freedom to break rules. You know, they gave him the freedom to break a few rules, and this time they got away with it. You know what I mean? This time they got away with it. You know, we actually made a couple adjustments in game, you know, to try to take advantage of it, and, you know, almost made him pay. We actually like when people break the rules on defense, because they may get you once or twice, especially early in the year, but then as offenses, you adapt and you say, okay, they got us on that one, but here's our answer to that, you know, and then we adapt and adjust. And when a defense, when they quote unquote break the rules, they realize they're doing that at their own peril. You're probably exposing yourself to potential big plays, and they were, and you know, and we did some things to get there, but just couldn't quite get it done. So,
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks.